Good morning. It's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to No BS Hiring Advice Radio. I simulcast on YouTube and as a Google Hangout. So if you happen to be watching live now, welcome. Glad to meet you. Glad to see you. Well, I can't see you. I hope you can see me. And this is a time where I like to spend normally about 15 minutes. Today it's going to be a little less time because of my schedule, talking with you about some element of hiring, recruiting, staffing, because to me, hiring doesn't have to be as hard, difficult, painful, or take as long as it does. It's just most of you have systems in place that impede your ability to actually hire. And that's where this show comes in handy from a job hunter perspective. That's where my other two shows come in helpful. Job Search Radio, which is on Web Talk Radio and iTunes and a variety of different podcast directories, as well as No BS Job Search Advice Radio, which is on this network, Blog Talk Radio, as well as in iTunes and other podcast directories, come in helpful. I'm here to try and educate, inform, and do it in a way that's quick and to the point. So today's show is brought to you by two sponsors. The first one is Audible. If you go to audibletrial.com/The Big Game Hunter, sign up for a free trial, download a free audiobook as part of that trial. So again, audibletrial.com/The Big Game Hunter. Sign up for a free trial, get a free audiobook. And I know you like audio because after all, you listen to my podcast, right? The second sponsor is consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to permanent contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you feature a job or a resume, it is a whopping $10 for 30 days. And if you're going to feature more than one position, that price comes down very dramatically and you extend the number of days. I think it gets to $2 for 45 days. So again, the site is consultingassignments.com. So I've always been miffed by the term team player in a job description. To me, it's a message that says we don't want to really hire anyone that thinks. And I always point to the example of if Steve Jobs walked in for an interview, Larry Ellison walked in for an interview. These are legendary renegade personalities. You telling me you're not going to hire them? Of course you are. But ultimately, it's your office, it's your business, it's your firm that you're recruiting for. You can hire anyone that you want, but most people don't really know how to hire, quote, a team player. As a matter of fact, I was listening to a podcast recently, and they said for most job hunters, their best day at the firm is on the day that they interview. What happens is they spend a lot of time talking about how wonderful they are. You as an employer spend a lot of time talking about how wonderful you are. It is a great day. There's chemistry in the air. Love abounds. It is a wonderful experience for everyone. But most of you have no clue as to how to hire or evaluate or assess for a team player. So I thought I'd offer one idea. Maybe I'll offer more in the future, but for today, I thought this was a good one to offer up to you. Now, in my thinking, most of you, when you're hiring a team player, are looking at a staff level. You're looking for doers rather than leaders. Leaders, there's a different assessment criteria. You probably can follow the same model, but let's work with the doer level team players for today. So here's what I want you to do. I'd like you to invite in a block of people for interviews, 10, 15, it can be as many as 20, and you pair them up with one another. Now, the idea is you say the two of you are going to work together. And your job is to work to make sure that the other person is invited back for a second interview. Get that one? You want to work to help the other person get back for a second interview. Now, that's going to fry some circuits on some people. So Recognize, observe them. Start watching some of the things that they do. And what you're going to do is to pair them up in project teams and give them tasks to do that relate to the work that you're going to want to measure them for. So if you're in IT, you might give them a decently complex program. Nothing so easy, but one person's going to be on point and the other person's going to be the aid to them. And what you're looking for are behaviors that indicate that these people can't be a team player. So, for example, if the person who is the follower, the support person, takes over the task and does it for the other individual, not a team player. You look for evidence of collaboration. You look for evidence of someone who asks great questions to support that other individual in figuring out what needs to be done. You make this a time series, and you're going to change teams all the time. So one person may be in the lead role, and then the other in the support role. And then the next assignment may have them reversed, or frankly, this is what I would prefer. You bring them to another pairing where a person who's been a lead is in the follower role, and that person who's in the follower role or support role is in the lead role. Do this a few times. Give different assignments to work on, all of which relate to the task. Now, here's what you're looking for. You're looking for instances where people don't work well together, where the person who's in the support role doesn't support. Fun example, the person who's in the support role goes out of their way and takes the pen out of someone's hand and does it for them, or tells them what to do, or bosses them around, basically trying to humiliate them. Well, trying to demonstrate their own knowledge. They're not trying to humiliate, but they're trying to give them the answers. That's not a team player, is it? You're looking for someone who asks great questions that helps the other individual through their question come to great conclusions, and thus is able to execute the project. Now, these people and these pairings are all being observed. I don't think you need to go to the trouble of videotaping them, but if the equipment is available and you have enough conference rooms, great, do it. I just think it takes too much time to review afterwards. But you have people on staff follow them around and observe the behaviors, because that's really what you care about, is the behaviors, and to a much lesser extent, the quality of the answer provided. After all, this is an assessment for team player. You can do the skills assessment on another occasion if you haven't already done so. But I think this is a great first interview approach for team players. Now, here's how you critique later on. You start to examine the success rate of the different teams and note who is in the team. Now, a fun example is the lead individual, the doer in the task, who does an adequate job most of the time, but you start to notice that the support person where they excel is one particular individual. They just have that way that lets them, the lead person, feel more confident, asks better questions to draw out information that helps that person succeed in the task. And that is what you ask them to do, right? To support that other person in being brought back for an interview. So start looking for patterns in the behaviors of the different teams. Maybe it is that there's a particular pairing that just can't work with one another. But like I said, imagine that you start to see one individual who in the support role makes the other people excel. In your organization, this person can be like glue for a department. Assuming that they're knowledgeable of the particular skills that you're looking for, this is one of these people who can become a backbone of your organization, provide leadership not from out front, but from behind, and be that true team player that you really say that you want to hire, because they're the sort of person that makes everyone better. So I think this is a great assessment mechanism if you are serious about hiring team players. And I want you to take a moment and compare it with your own current assessment criteria. I don't think most firms' assessment criteria, as they currently are, will hold a candle to this one. So this is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, share it, leave a comment, click the like button. If you're listening to my show, I hope you share it with other people as well. I also want to encourage all of you that if you are trying to hire, I'd love to help you staff positions. Reach out to me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. That address is in the show notes, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Blog Talk Radio. So again, reach out to me at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Let me know who to contact, whether I should mention your name. Let me know how I can reach you, when's a good time. And generally, I can't guarantee that I'm available then. Make sure I have an email address, so if that isn't a good time, I have a way of reaching back to you and we can connect and schedule that time. I want to help your current firm staff positions. By the way, if we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request at linkedin.com/IN/the-big-game-hunter. I accept connection requests from people worldwide, except if you're a third-party recruiter or in a country known for scams or spam. I just won't do it if you fit that profile. I've got lots of great content at my website. Again, thebiggamehunter.us, to help you as an organization, whether you're an HR, hiring manager, or a small to mid-sized business owner, do a better job of staffing. I think, like I said at the beginning, most organizations have processes in place that interfere with their ability to really bring on the best talent. I want to help you do that. I want to be a recruiting source for you. I believe I can do a great job. So again, this is Jeff Altman. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you have a great day. Take care.